Kia ora, year 10. Here's part 2 of the family trip practice task. So we're up to the part about the van. Remember that they've got a choice of how they're going to do their trip. And in the first video, we went right through how much it was going to cost to hire a car. So now what we're looking at is the van option. So it always is worth just going over what are the inputs that we need. And for a van, it goes like this. They need insurance, and they pay a daily rate, but that doesn't depend on their mileage or their kilometres, and they also have to pay for diesel, right? So most vans run on diesel, not petrol, and that's the information that we're given here. It's going to be quite similar to part 1, but there are a couple of little details to notice. The first one is that on the insurance, if they hire the van, they get a 1/3 discount on the daily insurance costs. So that's going to be a fraction of skill. And the other thing is that all of the costs include GST unless otherwise stated. And the diesel price is given excluding GST. So we know we're going to have to put the GST back on because in New Zealand, we basically pay GST on everything. It's not like that overseas, but it is here. It makes it really easy to work out. So let's get into it and we'll do the insurance first, I think. Right, so if we've got a 1/3 discount, that means 1/3 off. That means we're paying 2/3 of the usual amount. Okay, so the insurance is going to cost 2/3 of $34, and the insurance is charged per day, so we have to multiply that by 4, and that gives us $90.67. Okay, so the 4 is from 4 days. Now, the daily rate is really easy. Four times 246 is equal to 984. I'll just go back up to that table so you can see it. Yeah, so here's the daily rate. Okay, so it's an unlimited kilometres plan, and we're charged that per day. So the last thing we've got to do is to work out the diesel cost. We have to think about this. First, we'll do it before GST, and then we'll put the GST on. Well, we're going to do exactly the same method that we did when we did option 1 for the car. We know that the van will use 5.6 litres per 100 kilometres. So per 1 kilometre, it will use 0.056, right? So we're doing the same thing to both sides because we're working in proportion. But we know that we want to go 561.2 kilometres, which is strangely precise, but we'll go with it for now. So we can talk about the issue of this being a very exact number at the end. And so when I get that, that tells me how much petrol I need. It doesn't tell me the cost. So let's write that whole number down. So for the trip, it's going to use that much petrol. Right, but it would be very silly to go to a petrol station and ask for that much diesel. Sorry, diesel, not petrol. So we're going to round that up. Always think about why we're rounding and how we're rounding. So round up to 32 litres. Now, it would be fine if you didn't round up until the end. In this case, though, I think there's a pretty compelling case to say we should do something with that number. So either round to 31.4 litres. No, that's not right. Round to 31.5 litres, because you never want to round petrol down because you will run out. So we're going to have 32 litres of diesel, and before GST, that will cost 32 times $1.48, which gives us 47.36. Now I'm going to put the GST on. And to do that, we multiply by 1.15. And that will give me 54.46. So just because you're into your very last revision, I'm going to do my GST bubble diagram one more time. This is the price before GST. So in this case, this is what we had. It's 47.36. To put GST on, we multiply by 1.15 and we get 54.46. Now, if we had to remove GST, we're going back the other way. So we're doing the opposite of multiplying by 1.15. We're dividing by 1.15. But we don't have to worry about that here. Right? But we've got our GST price now. So the total cost of option 2 has got 3 parts. $90.67 plus $984, so that's the big charge, is the daily rate, and then $54.46. And that gives me $1,129.13. So let's compare them. What did we get for option 1? Well, option 1 was ridiculously close. So what does that mean in real life? Well, if the family's choosing, there really isn't very much difference. But what you have to do in this task is to choose one of the 2 options and have a discussion. So I've written my comments out and I've chucked them into the video so that you can pause and have a read. There are some things that we could think about changing. And if we go back to the task, if you have a look at it, one of the things that's interesting is that they're going just there and back, and it doesn't say anything about driving around once they get to Taupo. So if they choose the car, then the car is going to be more expensive because they have to pay 2 things that are going to depend on fuel. The first thing, let's go to the table. Okay, so if you look in here in the table, the van just had a flat rate, right? So the van, you paid $246 a day. But with the car, there's a charge per kilometre. So they're going to check how far you've gone. And the other thing, also arguing in favour of the van, is the fact that the diesel price, even once you put the GST in, works out to be cheaper. Okay? So if you look at the fuel costs, you can see that, where are we? What have I done? So the fuel cost for the van is lower than the fuel cost for the car, right? Because we've used up our petrol voucher, and so we're not going to get another $50 voucher. So I think both of those things probably argue in favour of a van. But this is the other stuff that you could talk about. Right, so it's going to be much nicer to go in 2 cars. There'll be heaps more room and you won't argue as much. And there's more flexibility once you get there to do some different stuff if you've got 2 vehicles. But option 2 means that 2 adults have to drive, so it depends if they actually like driving or not. If they feel like going on a road trip, maybe they want to take 2 cars. So the van probably works out to be cheaper. So just pick one. You're told to choose one option. And the other thing you could try doing is you could say, well, petrol prices and diesel prices change a lot. So you could try changing these around and have a look at what impact this has. So just remember, no running arithmetic, and discuss what you're assuming along the way, and you need full communication for anything above achieved. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry if this was long and boring, but I know that some of you like it when I go through the problems really slowly. And if you've got any last questions or you want anything else videoed today or tomorrow, shoot me an email and I'll see if I can help.